Good morning. I am Yusuf Onau. We are here once again to discuss another topic in this important platform. We'll be discussing anger management. Before we continue, kindly subscribe to this channel so that, of course, you'll be the first to know when we have another interesting topic. What is anger? Anger is an intense emotion that is characterized by rage and fury with attendant physiological and psychological symptoms. The main essence of anger is to communicate antagonism, displeasure, or discomfort. And this discomfort and displeasure is directed to a person, object, words, or behavior that seems or feel unpleasant. But anger is to communicate a message, as mentioned above. But when anger becomes a rage or fury, becomes an outburst of negative emotion, it fails to pass this message of displeasure. What it engenders becomes a cycle of negative emotion. What are the consequences of anger? Anger have varying consequences affecting different domains of the human nature. From the physical aspect of it, we may experience heightened heart rate or racing heart rate, hypertension, loss of concentration, and loss of attention or inattention. From the mental health aspect of it, you may experience anxiety, depression, loss of focus, as well as loss of concentration. Legally, a lot of people are having a very serious problem with the law enforcement, with our courts, as a result of expression of anger. Well, emotionally, or to relationship and performance, angers have been implicated in inability of individual to carry out certain jobs or obligations that are on them. We must know that anger has indeed caused a lot of havoc when it is inappropriately expressed. How do we manage anger? Of course, as I said earlier, everybody express this emotion at one point or the other. But how we go about it, how we express it, how we communicate it is how it affects us. If you are able to express anger or you tell your anger through a constructive way of expression, you get a constructive outcome. But if you tailor it towards a destructive way, you have a destructive outcome. You see where people brutalize their children, they traumatize their children, they injure them physically in an attempt to express anger. People destroy their property, relationships are broken, friendship are severed. At some point, people even lose their life in the process or kill other persons in an attempt to express anger. Now, how do we deal with anger? First, you have to have what we call emotional intelligence. By trying to be emotionally aware, be aware of your own emotion. Try to have empathy. Try to have the capability of regulating your own emotions. This can be achieved by first taking a time out. What do I mean by that? Before you express anger, try to take a step back. Don't be so spontaneous in your responses. Try to process the information. Try to make meaning to it. If the objects are anger or words from other individuals, take yourself as a context, not a content of what the person is saying. Try to listen to what the person is saying and make meaning to it. Try to listen to understand, not just to respond. By that, it will take you time to process before you give a meaning to yourself, before you respond to the individual. Try to connect with other persons. By the time you connect with people, you have the ability of sampling different people ways of talking and how to respond or to communicate with people. You understand different variety of personality and how individuals express themselves. So you don't necessarily have to pick offense from whatever individual says or whatever is said. Another thing you are supposed to do is to practice forgiveness. You have to first forgive yourself, then forgive others that offend you. By the time you don't really take vengeance or take anger from whatever people say, you will be at peace with yourself as well as others that you might not really agree with what they're saying. Then exercise a lot of times, because anger, of course, bring about negative energy. Sometimes when you feel very, very frustrated or infuriated, try to use. Some people will tell you that get a pillow and punch on it, or you go into a lot of physical exercises. So by that you will spend the negative energies you have, and by the time you are already tired, you might not really have that emotion of anger still running in you. Then try to reduce stress. A stressful person is a temperamental person. If you try not to, if you don't like, you don't give yourself time to rest, you'll be stressed up. So small things will just ignite a lot of negative emotions in you. So try to have rest. Try to have good sleep and eat a balanced diet. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe in my own small way, we're able to understand anger and its consequences as well as its management. Thank you.